G'day guys, how's it going? It's Bloodteeth here, bringing you another video of Gemcraft Frostborn Wrath. And I would like to show you a in-game snippet of a game that I'm doing right now. This is Field V2. Can I show that anywhere? Maybe in here? No. That's okay. Anyway, I'm on Field V2. Surely it says something. There we go. Field V2. My previous high score on this particular one for a XP run on endurance is 9.4 billion. I think that's like the second or third highest XP run I've done so far. I think my highest is only just over 10 billion or around 11 billion or something for Field W1 or something like that. Anyway, what I'd like to show you is a tactic that was brought to my attention by one of the people who comments on my videos a lot. Quick shout out to them actually, and forgive me for this, I really suck at trying to read this name.
Ilya Matyushenkov.
Ilya Matyushenkov. I hope I got that name right. Let me know. Thank you very much, Ilya, for your advice. Apparently, when you use shrines, and there's not many of these in this particular game, I think there's only 4 or 5 fields all up in the whole game that have shrines on them. When you have shrines paired with maxed out freeze, paired with red gems that put bleeding on everything, apparently these things are stupidly broken. Now let's have a talk about shrines. I've never talked about them really, so I'll just cover them quickly now. Shrines in this particular game are a little bit different to the shrines that are in previous versions of Gemcraft. In previous versions they were shrines that did damage in all directions of some sort, that had a effect that mimicked something from one of the 9 gem types that you could have, or one of the 6 gem types, something like that. Those shrines popped up, and you could sort of elicit shrines to actually come onto the field as you go through and play through the game. I believe there was sparks in between waves in Chasing Shadows, and also in Labyrinth as well, where you could actually get these shrines to pop up. So they were kind of commonplace, I suppose you could say, in endurance runs. Whereas in this game, they only come up if they're actually placed on the level, so you can't just have them on a field that doesn't start with shrines. And also they work a little bit differently. There is no component that mimics some effect from some gem of some color. They are what they are, and that's it. So they're vastly simplified. Shrines, again, they don't always shoot in all 8 directions like they could do. It depends on how they're set up. In Field V2, this is probably the first shrine that you would ever come across when playing this particular game. This one shoots in 5 directions, which is enough, honestly, where it's placed. I don't think you'd really get much from this 6th direction, and these 2 directions are completely wasted. So, shrines basically, well, let's read the tooltip. Gathers the energy of all gems on the battlefield. So when you click on a shrine that has charge of 100% or more, what it will do is it will take a long time, basically putting lightning bolts to literally every single gem all over the entire battlefield. Speaking of which, I should probably actually move this off, because I want that to contribute. Basically what happens is a shrine will go ahead and do a lightning bolt to each gem in turn. It does it in a seemingly random fashion, so the lightning bolt's going everywhere. It's a great little effect. And what will happen is it will start counting up the amount of raw damage that it gets, which is variable depending on the grade of the gem. Only the grade, not the color. And also every time it ticks up, there's also a multiplier to that raw damage that ticks up, I think, something like 0.3 times for every time a gem has been touched by a lightning bolt. So that happens as basically the idea is the more gems you have on the field, the higher that multiplier is going to be, and the more overall, grade of gems you have with higher grades on the field, the more that raw damage component is going to be. So once you click this, it will take its time charging up, getting all of the energy from all the gems, and then it will go ahead and shoot, in this particular instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beams that will go out and destroy monsters. Now, let's read on. Damages all enemies in its path of fire. Yep, we know that. Interestingly, because the beams are very wide, there's a little bit of overlap right near the shrine itself. So I'm not sure if that damage stacks. Say, for example, in this triangle, you've got a beam going down, a beam going down towards the left, and a beam going to the left. So I don't know if these monsters right here in this little nook, whether or not they cop it 3 times or not. I'm not sure. That comes into play later on as well, because what it does is it shreds a ratio of remaining health. So just like the Ice Shards spell, shrines will go ahead and shred a certain amount of health as a percentage from monsters, and I do believe that is something like 30% or thereabouts. I don't know if it might be if any of these stats are altered by some bonuses that you can get from fragments in your talisman, but actually I should look into that more. But basically, that's what a shrine does. It charges up, takes energy from all of your gems, so more better, higher grade better. It will then discharge in all the directions where you see these lit paths, these outlines, and it will go ahead and do I think it will first apply the percentage reduction, and then it will apply the damage itself to each monster. So shrines are generally quite good, but apparently, according to Ilya, my bad. Ilya has told me that if you pair the shrines up with this, the red gem, which causes bleeding, apparently the damage output from this thing is incredibly stupid. Now, as it stands, I'm not sure if people have messed around with playing with shrines much in this game, but generally speaking, on an XP run, a shrine is really only sort of useful, kind of like using the Ice Shards spell, in that it's really powerful at the start, but as you get through all of the waves and you get down to wave 200, 300 or whatever, when you press onto the shrine, you'll find that your main kill gem, with all of its surrounding amplifiers and so forth, the raw damage output from your main kill gem, and that could be in a tower or in a trap, by the way, either one will have a lot more damage output, especially with the multiplier, the 80% chance to deal, in this case 480,000 extra damage. This puts out a hell of a lot more damage on monsters than a shrine as time goes by. So shrines, powerful at the start, very diminishing returns as the game goes by, so they're kind of a novelty. But apparently, with bleeding on all of these monsters, this thing does a hell of a lot more damage. Now, I'm not sure exactly how that damage is applied. It's a little bit confusing to me, because as it stands right now, this particular bleeding gem is actually my most powerful bleeding gem that I have on all of these monsters that are kind of, encircling around where the shrine is. This particular one does targets take 2,956% increased damage. So basically, long story short, it does, about 30 times more damage. Now, that might sound impressive, but the confusing thing to me is that, yes, even though it does 30 times more damage from the damage output from the shrine, it really shouldn't actually make much of a difference, and it should still be weaker than if I was trying to damage monsters with my main kill gem. So I'm not sure if there's a bug in the code or something like that, but I suspect that maybe, just maybe, and this is pure speculation, by the way, because I can't explain it any other way. If anyone can set me straight on this, I would appreciate that. Please comment below. But I think possibly, accidentally, this increased damage percentage is also applied to the percentage shred from monsters. So when you think about it, if you're shredding 30% of the remaining hit points from a monster in the one hit that it does to shred that hit points, then bleeding where it would take, I don't know, 350 or even 400% increased damage would mean the percentage shred would be over 100% and you would just insta-kill every single monster. Possibly. Now the reason why I'm saying this is because as you can see, I'm well into this game right now. I'm almost at wave 300. And what I've been doing is I've been doing this tactic where with the freeze skill maxed out, basically I can sort of quasi permanently freeze monsters here, and I can keep on stacking them up and stacking them up and stacking them up. That's what I've been doing. So I'd stack up a lot of monsters which have been enraged like ridiculously. I'm just sending waves and waves and waves. I'd never do this in a normal endurance run, but that's what I've been doing, stacking them up until I have, oh god knows, maybe 500, 1,000 monsters here. And then I take the gem out of the enraged slot just so I can get that little extra damage again, because I don't know how exactly this thing calculates its damage. And then I hit the shrine, and magically all of these monsters, they just disappear completely. By my calculations, especially with the damage output that it has, it should not actually kill all of these monsters, but it does. So I'd like to show you that now. Before I do, I'm just going to give you a little demonstration of what I'm doing when it comes to banking up all of these monsters. See, right, it's very hard to see because this game does have, I believe, the same optimization technique as the one that was used in Gemcraft Labyrinth and Chasing Shadows, whereby on any given single map tile there can be no more than 7 monsters that are actually rendered. For all we know, there could be like 100 monsters right here in this tiny little area, but only 7 would render. So sometimes it's really difficult to see where over the frozen monsters new monsters are walking over. You don't always get to see all of them, but every now and then you get a glimpse of one popping in and out of being drawn. I think the drawing may be at random, or maybe I don't know how it's calculated, but basically you try and keep an eye on what's going on with the monsters that walk over the ones that are frozen. So I freeze everything like this, and then if I also have it, I put whiteout just down here to slow down any monsters that might be moving fast like swarmlings. So by the time I have another freeze charge saved up, those monsters will have not got past this point, and I would still be able to freeze everything. The idea is keep freezing, 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 more add in, freezing, etc., so on and so forth, until you're just about ready to just go ahead and hit that shrine. So that's what I've been doing, and I'll do that just a couple more times, and then I'll hit this shrine, and I'll show you what I mean. We'll have a look at some numbers before I go ahead and fire the shrine off. All monsters are coming in. That's good. Let's see, where are we at for freezing? This one's got 67 seconds, 45. I think freeze spells actually stack on top of each other. Maybe. That one's frozen 59, 46. Maybe not. Let's see. Oh, okay, so it's a random application. 10 to 16 seconds freeze duration. Okay, so it's a range. Alright, false alarm, they don't stack. Waiting. Whoop, there we go, there's a monster, it's just got through. So let's just go ahead and hit them with the freeze again. And I'm going to pause when I get my whiteout, so I can white out these monsters. And you know what, let's do ice shards here where the bulk of the monsters are, just for fun. Why not? Now, I'll do this whole process one more time. Sorry for the slideshow, by the way, guys. Remember, 7-year-old computer here. Shouldn't take too much longer. In fact, I think that's enough of a demonstration. Now this will be egg on my face if I don't insta-kill everything. But let's have a look at some monsters. So you got 7.9 e to the 18. E to the number is important. Basically, my kill gem would struggle at the moment against anything that's e to the 17. So e to the 18 is high. E to the 20, that's ridiculous. E to the 18, 18, 13, that's a weak one. 20, yeah, there's some weak ones here. That's nice. 20, 19. So a nice random smattering of monsters with varying hit points. My kill gem, as you can see, it can't really make much of a dent. It can't even make a dent on this Twisted Reaver. Look at it. It's firing away. Nothing's happening. So, what's our alternative? Let's use a shrine. Now, when I charge this up, take note of the amount of damage that is being charged up by this shrine as it charges and gets all of the energy from the monsters, and also take note of the multiplier. After that happens, what we'll do is we'll take that number, we will multiply it by 30, which is what the bleeding gem is doing for all of these monsters as well. That's kind of an extra multiplier on top of everything once the shrine has got all of its raw damage. And when it goes through and wipes out everything, I'll just do a quick calculation to tell you how much damage these monsters should have got, and hopefully we can come up with an explanation as to why something with, you know, health that's e to the 20, which is a ridiculously large number, by the way. It's about, you know, 1,000 or 10,000 times more powerful than what my kill gem can go ahead and take down. Why these monsters disappear. Anyway, let's go for it. It will take a while. So that's, let's see, I'm reading 1 billion, 2 billion times 10. $3 billion times 20, give or take. 4 billion times 20. Getting close. 5.5 billion times 38. And the map has been completely cleaned. Look at that. 5.5 times 38. Let's just go quickly to the calculator. I mean, you don't really need a calculator to figure out that that was nowhere near enough damage, but okay. 5,500,000,000 times 38 times what, 29, 30, 29.5 from the bleeding gem. So this is the damage. It looks like a large number, but basically what we've got is we've got hundreds, hundreds, thousands, millions. So this is something, and 500 million. So we've got 61 billion. Okay, that's 6.1 times e to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that is nowhere near enough damage to wipe out monsters that are e to the 20. Yeah, you've got some stragglers up here, but just remember, they are out. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Whoops. Oh, that was a waste. Yeah, long story short, that was nowhere near enough damage to actually go ahead and destroy monsters with. Seriously. I don't know what happened there, but I just gained 9 billion extra XP. And I'm not going to complain about it. In fact, I'm kind of spewing that I just wasted another hit on this. I think, on average, these shrines charge 100% every, 18 or 20 or so wave stones. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop this back into the enraged slot. I'm going to wait until I can upgrade it. And yeah, I'm just going to continue this, and let's see if I can get 100 billion or even more. That'd be great on an XP run. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that, because it's very odd. I suppose unless you knew about it, you wouldn't have any cause to actually think to go ahead and, you know, unless you had your thinking cap on. Bleeding gem with monsters frozen in time, or getting smacked out by a shrine. Ilya, very good advice. I appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much. I'll go ahead and make a comment on this video when it's uploaded after I finally beat this one, and I'll share with you guys what my final XP was for this particular run. But yeah, there you go. Shrines, red gems, and freeze. And you know what? Just for fun, maybe max out whiteout. That's the only thing I regret not doing. I didn't max out whiteout, so it takes longer to charge. But hey, this is a winning combination. Oh, and just remember, it seems like it doesn't matter how upgraded your gem is inside your enraged slot, so just go ahead and upgrade this as much as you can, and enrage as much as you can. Try this combo, see how you go. Catch you later, guys.